Do not store up yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourself treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. How did our relationship start? Well, I think it started, I think this is totally God, because it started before this. I was working like around the Mississauga area, and I had a job there, and they were closing down because the company had a really rough time. So we're closing down that store. No, it was Black Creek. See, my memory is not that good, but it was Black Creek. They were closing down, and Black Creek was far enough for me. But and then they gave me the decision to go to Finch and Albion. I said, that's too far. I don't think I'm going to go there. So then I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm going to go to make that. I made the decision. I went.
We worked at a grocery store together. He worked in the produce section, and I worked in the deli department. I knew his brother before I met him.
When I saw Vita off in the distance in her deli cutting the meat, I kind of went, wow, that's, she caught my interest. I mean, if you can think of love at first sight, I guess that was it. I mean, I just thought, wow, that's how we went. So it's funny because I always used to joke around with her, and I was putting up eggs, like sorting out eggs, and then we're joking around. She said something to me, and I just said, I'm going to throw this egg at you. And she goes, before she even said, I dare you, and they went flying, and it splattered her.
No, you missed me.
Did I miss you?
I ducked.
See, she ducked. You weren't, yeah, she was in the deli, she ducked. But so after that, and I remember like up in the lunchroom, again, at that time I was struggling with finances, right? I had hardly any cash, but I wanted to ask her out. So I asked her, they were talking about going to Canada's Wonderland, all of them. And then Vita said, yeah, let's go. You want to go to Canada's Wonderland? I go, yeah, let's go. And all of a sudden, as they were walking out, I go, how about me and you go to Canada's Wonderland? She says, okay. And then I, oh man, I forgot I had no money. So how many asked her out? So I told her, I have no money. I have no way to like take you to Canada's Wonderland. She goes, don't worry, I'll pay for it. I go home and I'm thinking, no, I can't have the first date, her pay for it. This makes sense. So I scrounged some money together, and then we went out. I think we still have that a picture of us like screaming on top of one of the roller coasters. And I had a blast with her. I mean, it was like me and her were like clicking. It wasn't hard to hang out with her. It was easy. So I think that's the first time we met. Like we clicked here.
I don't think our first date was Canada's Wonderland.
Wasn't it?
No, our first date was a movie, and we went to JJ Muggs.
Yeah. That's another story.
But it was fun, yeah. He just made me laugh all the time, just his jokes and just, him being silly, I really enjoyed that. And, just even talking with him, and, he was famous for his M&Ms, putting them at the tip of his lip and sucking them in, and one time he almost choked him, and it's like, I don't need to perform CPR. But it was so fun. It was really fun just, hanging around with him and him making me laugh. That's all I did, is constantly laugh.
I remember that time that we're sitting in that JJ Muggs. It's an old restaurant, and I actually sit her strategically so I can watch the game while she caught on, and then we changed seats after. It was funny. It's cool.
My greatest memories the first year of our marriage. At first, it was kind of scary because, I lived with my parents all my life, so I never lived on my own. So it was kind of scary to be independent and it's away from my parents. But we had a lot of great memories. Like, we did a lot of things. We did a lot of camping, a lot of road trips together. I think practically every day after work, we would go do something, either go out for a coffee or go for a walk. Or we spent lots of money in the first year because we were living rent-free, so we took advantage of our money. So we really went on a lot of trips, and and it weren't big trips, it was just small trips, but that's the most memorable ones. And it was really fun. Yes, there was some rocky times there where, we were getting to know each other. So it was kind of difficult because, him being one way, myself being another way, like just, trying to balance it out, and respecting each other. So there were a lot of fights, a lot of times where, we just needed the space where, either he went out for a walk or myself. And then after, 2 years after we were married, I found out that I was pregnant. And so that was awesome. It was planned. We were planning to have a child after 2 years of our marriage. And then that's when, we went to purchase our own homes, and even it being closer to work and closer to our parents. So if we needed any help with the children and stuff, and that's and then in 1998 we had our son Angelo.
Well, the early years were good. When we first got married, we had 2 years we lived together. We enjoyed each other's company and everything. When we had Angelo, that's when I remember when I got my first job at the bakery. That's where it started the decline, right? We had Angelo, and I think a few months after that, I got the job in the bakery. I remember going outside and just like really going to deep cry. I had to deep cry. I don't know why. I think it was, all this responsibility on my shoulders now with Angelo. And I only have to take care of myself. I have to take care of my wife and my son, right? And then I remember before Angelo was born, I remember tearing down a wall, right? Like I was gonna renovate. It took me like 10 years to renovate my house, but I did it. But I remember tearing down this wall, this dividing wall, and all of a sudden, I was so tired, never really sleeping out. I think I was sleeping on the couch or something. She tells me, comes down, we're water broke. And I thought it was the pipes in the house, but no, no, that wasn't it. But I remember from that moment on, I devoted myself not to the family, for the family, I devoted myself to work. That's when I got the opportunity to work my own business. I had 14 years. Like, I have just a few glimpses and memories of Angelo and Ali, because I spent a lot of time at work, day and night working. I thought it was just to provide for my family, but I lost a lot of time in my life devoted to work.
Like Tony mentioned, at first it was beautiful. It's like, okay, you got this business, okay, it's gonna work out. Don't worry, I'll have the kids under control. You take care of your business. The money was great, Children were getting whatever they wanted. We were paying everything off. We would buy whatever we wanted and stuff. So it's like, there was the excitement, but then after it started going downhill, because, it was very lonely, We had our two older kids were in hockey and soccer constantly. And, just going from work and bringing them to their hockey games or their soccer games, it was all me. Like, it was all thrown on me, even birthday parties, get-togethers. It was just me and the kids. And, it just was depressing, because it's like, I've got a husband, but he's at home that he has to sleep. And he can't be with us. And I'd be crying on my own. He would have to sleep around 5:30 in the afternoon to go to work at 2:30 in the morning. But that's the time that I come home from work and, just feeding the kids and all that. We would have, at that time we would have dinner, just me and the kids. There were even times that when the kids got trophies at the hockey arenas, he showed up because he had some time, and everyone was shocked that I was married because they never saw him. But it's like what I filled my void with spending money. I would just go spend things that were not necessary. But then after I bought the things, it's like, again, the depression came, and I was even mentioning, like, is this worth it? Being together when he's working all the time. We stopped communicating amongst each other. I started making all the decisions with the bills, with the children, with anything in the house, because he was just too focused on working. And, It was really sad, because he would sleep downstairs, I would be sleeping upstairs, and it's like we didn't hardly see each other, and we did have times together, but I felt like those times were just rushed because it's like I only had 2 hours of his time, and it's like it was really sad, we didn't really, and that's where I felt like our marriage really drifted. That it's like when he gave up his business is where we started our marriage again. And it's going to be 25 years, but I just feel like after 14 years, it's like starting our marriage again.
Like when my our relationship was going like really deep into places that, being alone and everything and thinking about divorce, I was at a point that it was going through emotions. And I was at a point like I begged God. I said, I think this is where it changed. I begged God, please do anything you can to change my life. I can't do this anymore. I had so much responsibilities because my brothers worked for me and everything. So it was so much load on my back. And then I just asked God, please do anything. And wouldn't you know it, when you ask, you receive, right? So I remember almost, it was a blizzard that night I went to work. Any normal person wouldn't go to work because it was enough, you couldn't even do anything, right? But I went to work, and then I got caught up north on in front of me. I was going like 40, 50, and there was a pile of snow in front of me, drift. And I went into drift, I lost control, and I went head on to a car. And then I just, instinctively turned, let go of my brakes, and I caught, and it went onto a ditch. And I had my head against the steering wheel, and I sat there for like an hour, just sobbing. I sound like I'm always crying, but I mean, sometimes that's all you have is a relief to, you let it out. I mean, I was there like sobbing and asking God, please change my life. After picking myself up and everything, I did that day. I came back, and then things started changing in our lives.
One day I was at Walmart. I was with my mom and Adrienne. At that time, she was only 3 months. And I was in the line at Walmart, and behind me was a disciple that reached out to me and asked if I was Christian. I said, yeah, we actually go to certain Bible studies and all that. And they invited us to their inaugural service. At that time, we weren't able to go because Adrienne had a fever that Sunday, but we went to their home for dinner, and we felt the love. We felt that it's like, I think this is the right one. And then after we started going out to church, and at first it was kind of like, why are these people being so loving? And I remember we went to a house church, our first church, and everyone just grabbed our little one, like, where are they taking this little one? It's like, why are you taking my child? But we just felt the love, and after that we started studying the Bible, and it was the best thing. I just saw that our marriage, we started to communicate better. We prayed together. We were a lot happier together. And it just really helped, that we had God in our life that helped us through our marriage.
We're living examples that money is not going to bring you happiness. We can use it to help us make our lives easier, but we're living example. We're almost divorced. Where was our happiness? We put our whole lives in money. I just believe if you're good stewards of your money, if you take care of your money, you budget right, you have plenty. It's not what you want, it's your needs. Sometimes I think we're in our marriage, we had a lot of wants, but now what do we need? We just need family. We need time together, and we need just shelter and food. I mean, we understood that. We understand that a lot now. It's amazing that many of my elder relatives and people I know older, they've told me that. But I just pray that you guys don't make the same mistake as me. I'm 52 and Vita's like, I better get this right. She's 46, 47. We made that mistake. Listen to advice. Listen to people that went through it. And we went through it. Money doesn't bring happiness. You can use money to help. Happiness does come out giving, and I feel amazing when I give somebody something, and I see the joy that come out of their face. At Christmas, I used to be one of those, the kid on the other side, ripping up the thing to see what the gift was. Now I feel joy when I give to my daughter something more. You know what I mean? Makes them happy. My advice is just, think of don't think of yourself. I think of the others, how people would, how much you would fill their lives if you know, it's not the money, it's to show that you care about them enough, that you're thinking about them, that you know, you're worried about their well-being and what they need.
I know sometimes, you know, going out for lunch, or I didn't bring a lunch for school or whatever. And if you don't have the money to buy a coffee, don't buy the coffee. You know, I know we all have Visa cards, and it's like, oh, I'll just tap it and then pay it off. But then you got to think you got to pay it off. You know, so it's like, you know, instead it's like, do I have that money to buy a coffee? So it's budgeting your money, and also give with all your heart. You know, if you've got an extra $2 bill, a $2 coin, and you know, think of, I'm going to save this to give back, instead of, oh, I'm going to go buy a coffee. I know an example is, so Adriana, our little one, really loves giving to the poor. So we've always put kits together, and we keep them in the van, that if we ever see somebody on the street, you know, we give the kits. But we ran out of kits, and I just had a loonie in my wallet, and we were at a stoplight, and Adriana wanted to give this loonie to this lady. So I rolled down the window, and she gave it to the lady, and the lady was bawling because she had kids, and I had no idea she had kids. But she told Adriana that she goes, you know, this loonie will go a long way for my little one for food. And Adriana started tearing up, that she felt really special that this loonie will go a long way for her child. So it's like, that's a great example. Like, even just that loonie goes a long way, that it can provide, you know, even just say, I don't know, a loaf of bread or something, that at least it would feed her child. So always looking at giving with your heart. And, you know, if just say you can't give your whole contribution, at least give something. Give something, and don't come empty-handed.
Yeah, it's amazing. The more we give, it's weird. It's not like we want to do it on purpose. The more we give, the more we get back. It's not, I mean, it's just, I think, the heart in giving, you know, when you know this is right, when you know this is the kingdom of God, you're willing to sell everything. Like our house, if you look at our floors now, our floors are worn out because we use our house for the kingdom. Everything we have, we have to buy new mugs because they can crack. If you look at our cracks on our walls, it's memories of the kingdom, what we invested in the kingdom. Our house is a memory. Everything we have is a memory for the last 7 years, investing in God's kingdom. And I do, and that's why I have no regrets.